I think most people run away from their problems. They're avoidant, rather not deal with it. They don't want to deal with tech. They don't want to deal with AI. They don't want to deal with the most catalyzing opportunities that will take them to the next level. And it's unfortunate. And so in this video, we're going to talk about how my obsession with technology shows up in the way that I serve my clients and helping them reframe how they can use some of these opportunities so that they could actually grow their business. My name is Ernesto Mendowski, and I am the founder of MDM. We build million-dollar machines so that you can grow with the people that you know. Your CRM system is the single most transformational asset that you could have in your business. It is a technology that can help you maximize relationships, keep in touch with your network, and increase revenue, referrals, and reviews.
Ernesto, tell us, what is a CRM? The word gets used and abused all the time, but what actually is it?
A CRM stands for, traditionally, customer relationship management system, and it's really like a group of processes that any business can follow. Every business has a CRM. They are following some sort of workflow. Most of them are probably using text message, WhatsApp, email, Google Sheets, Trello, Seer. It was me at one point. And it's just like all kind of cobbled together with duct tape. Throw some Airtables in there, some Notion databases, and it's just a clusterfuck. I think of the CRM as a collaborative relationship maximization system. That is such a mouthful, but let me break it down. Collaborator, right? It's not just about customers. It's not just about client relationship, the obvious, keeping in touch with people, and maximization. We're not just managing relationships. We're not just keeping the status flow. We are pushing the boundary to new possibilities. We're really maximizing. So if I have a friend, the only way in a CRM, in a customer relationship management system, it's like, oh, you're the client. Like, I'm onboarding you. I'm just managing this process. No, it's not just managing the process. It's after the process finishes, like, am I asking you for a referral? Am I asking you for testimonial? Am I inviting you to my next workshop? Am I delivering value to you over time so that we're really maximizing your relationship? And so that's kind of my first distinction in terms of how I think of a CRM and how, introducing you to some potential new reframes for you.
What are some of the fears that people might have about why would people be against having a CRM in their business, or if any? Like, there are some stipulations, like what not all entrepreneurs have a CRM or a fancy CRM, and do you recommend a CRM for them to use?
I have a very strong opinion around needing a CRM. I don't think anyone needs any. We have water, we have shelter, we have food. For entrepreneurs, our needs are probably met. So I think people may want a CRM because they want to grow. They don't want to lose their mind growing. So one of the first questions I ask client is, okay, what was your trailing 12 months revenue? What was last year's revenue? And what do you want it to be 3 years from now? So very simple math. If last 12 months revenue was 150,000 and you served 30 clients, that means you had a $5,000 package. That's just three numbers. If you tell me I want to go to 500,000, you use the same assumption that your offer stays at 5K, that means you need 100 clients. So how do you go from 30 to 100? Do you now have to do 3.3 times as many emails, 3.3 times as many phone calls, 3.3 times as many text messages? Like, are you able to do that? Are you gonna lose your mind doing that? Maybe. Ultimately, you have to decide, how are you going to get there? That's just the simple mechanics of I'm here, I wanna go there. Okay, so if I need 100 clients, and if you think of a conversion rate, again, keeping things super simple, we have a 25% conversion rate. That means I need to have 400 discovery calls, 400 conversations with people that are actively considering your offer. Can you have 400 discovery calls? Can you, Eric?
No, I'm going to say no on that.
I mean, no, most people can't. Or if you're at 400, 4,000, how can you actually increase your confidence in doing it? So before talking about how to set it up, the first question you have to ask yourself is how am I going to actually hit my 3-year target? And if you actually want to hit that target, it's because it's not just this. I mean, it's a lot of changes you need to make as a business owner. When you're committed to that target, then we can take the next step.
So when you're looking into people's businesses, are you able to tell whether or not if they have to have some sort of system or process in their business? Do you do brand audits at all?
I do. I have a tool called the Growth Scorecard, and kind of starts breaking down this math that I just started to describe: the 3-year target, the average customer value per year, number of customers, number of sales calls that you have, and then basically the final number is like how many contacts are on your list. And so that's step 1 of the process. Step 2 of the process is, okay, if you have a $500,000 target or $1 million target, how does that break down between your intro offer, or what Hormozy calls your money model? Like what does your money model look like? The 3-year target. What's your attraction offer? What's your upsell? What's your downsell? And what's your continuity? And we start to kind of like, I don't even tell them what the answer is. Like, you are the expert in your business, but I'm just here asking the questions. Okay, how does it break down? And then when you break down how many clients you need to serve at each offer, the question is, how do you get the leads for those clients? I personally believe in warm relationship. Spoke about that in our last video about like hospitality and really preserving that authentic relationship with people. And so when I think about business development, it's direct, like warm outreach to your network to ask for referrals. It's your own outreach. It's partnership program with your existing clients, and hosting your own amazing, unique event, which we spoke about in another video in my origin story. And with these 3 mechanisms, that becomes kind of your business development strategy. And from there, all of these relationships are stored and centralized inside of your CRM.
And tell me a little bit more about these. You have a system and process that you use in your business to help your clients serve better through the 5 recipes for growth.
Yeah.
Break that down and tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so my origin story in hospitality really inspires me to think about recipes, like repeatable processes. And so when I work with clients, we do an inspection, we do that audit, and once we determine the opportunity, first phase is a 90-day sprint to set up your CRM. There's 5 main mindsets around how do you set up your CRM, how do you really maximize relationships. These 5 moves that you can make, it starts with, categorizing. So categorizing every collaborator. Are they a client? Are they a vendor? Are they a team member? Are they a partner? Are they a promoter? Like, who are they? Once you categorize who they are, or the role they have, you contextualize. So like, okay, what am I doing with this client? What am I doing with this podcast host? Like, how are we actually contextualizing the collaboration? What information do I need from them? What information do they need from me? And that moves into, okay, now that we have this information, now we're going to mobilize into some sort of collaboration. We're using tasks, we're using opportunities inside of your pipeline. People are moving through different stages inside of your pipeline. And as they move through those stages, you're either generating revenue or generating a speaking opportunity or generating a ticket sale for your event. So we are setting up that pipeline. The 4th step is you incentivize the decision. So you want to use SMS or WhatsApp or email communications to your collaborators to make a move. It's like, hey, we had a call. Now, if you're manually following up every time on the phone and you're trying to speak with 400 leads, it's just not going to work. So this is where automation of your messages really come into play. And it's very technical and nerdy, but ultimately, if you don't have this science in your business, you'll burn out. Not sustainable to like manually keep up with 400 leads. And the last step is you institutionalize growth. So with your client, or with my client, I want to institutionalize this new way of working. We're setting up the SOPs. It's the weekly process that you kind of clean and groom your CRM. It's the monthly review, like how did we do? Cleaning out the pipeline, quarterly reset. It's so institutionalizing these growth behaviors is what's going to allow you to ultimately use it without me or without another provider. And so this happens in the first 90 days, and it's basically the foundational setup that's us up to work for the next 2.5 years, because I see my collaborations with my clients as 3-year journeys. That's why I asked that question, where do you see yourself in 3 years from now? And if the person doesn't see themselves at a place that's high enough that I think is worth speaking, then we don't talk.
You're setting this priority straight there. So we're getting down to the last minute, man. Give us, how has a system or process helped you in your business for yourself?
I'm a creative, visionary, crazy person. I have so many ideas, and I want that for every one of my clients. I mean, I want that even for you. But having kind of this, kind of like a meditation, if you have this grounding way of doing things, you can have your crazy ideas, but always come back to the way you're doing things. So through conversations, you just follow the journey that we set up, and it allows you to actually have the confidence to have 400 leads one day in 3 years from now. I can actually see myself having that many conversations with people, whether it's me or a team member. And so just having that confidence to keep moving forward is ultimately like what I believe a CRM can unlock for you.
And that's it. Call to action.
So if you want to start the process of uncovering what possibilities exist for you, I invite you to grab your growth scorecard below. It's 6 questions, very simple. You're gonna get a 1-page assessment sent to your email, has a couple of Google Sheets. You could like tab through it, talk about what we covered earlier in the video today with the money model, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. See you in the next video.
My name is Eric Eisen, formerly known as Omni Eric, and I've been working with Ernesto for the last 1.5 years. He's been taking control of my chaotic backend that I actually never had. All my contacts lived on Instagram followers, and I had no way of following up, no systems, no follow-up process, no SOPs, none of that. So he literally came into my business and just very militantly put me to work. And I've already seen in the last 2 months, I've already seen a wide range of difference and impact in my business. Actually, last month in my business, I actually hit $15,000, my biggest month ever in history. Before that, my biggest month was only $6,500. Because I can see my pipeline, because I can see the flow and how everything's moving and see where the process are, I'm able to follow up with my clients or my leads a lot more easier. And I want to just give a huge shout out to Ernesto for coming to my business and helping me out and set that up, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I'm going to make $30,000 in 1 month using this system. And we're going to make another video just like this. I'm making a statement right now. So if you watch this video, go send him a DM on his Instagram, hit him up on email, check out his growth scorecard, and see what he's got cooking in the kitchen, because you don't want to miss what he's got going on.